Keith Harden in New Orleans. As soon as I got a call from Donna letting me know that Paul had taken his last breath. And I called Keith and I told him, and he was very, very sad, and we talked for a couple of hours just kind of reliving some fun stuff about Paul and just some good memories. So anyway, this is what my brother wrote, and it's entitled Sabuco. Samuoko. Paul was taken away, and by the way, Lisa, Keith wanted me to make sure and send you love and hugs, okay? Paul was taken from us way too soon, and my heart is full of sadness when I think about him. For this celebration of his life, I'm inclined to focus on the good times we had, so here's how I remember Paul. When Paul played music, he was a force of nature. He was Rand Tool's force of nature. Am I right? This is Keith talking. I knew Paul from back in the Alley Cat era, and I played a string of gigs with Nick's 86 with Paul, Chris Courtney, and Kenny Rice. I was filling in for our good buddy Matt Stewart. Nick's 86 really rocked, and all I had to do was play some guitar and throw on some harmonies. My favorite Nick's 86 cover song was the Hippie Hippie Shake. Remember that one? Yeah, the Hippie Hippie Shake. Yeah. Anyway, he said, Paul sang it in true rock and roll fashion. In other words, balls to the wall. You know the movie Spinal Tap, where Nigel, the lead guitar player, has an amp that goes up to 11 instead of 10? 11! Well, Paul's voice went to 11. He said, I don't know how Paul kept from blowing out his vocal cords, and I bet he had laryngitis more than once. I remember talking to him a few times. He sounded kind of froggy. He was a rock and roll animal. Again, a force of nature. Let's hear it for that force of nature. Anyway, Keith continues. Sometime in the early to mid-1990s, I invited Paul to be a featured guest at the Acoustic Tuesdays I hosted at the Embassy in Urbana. Bringing back some memories here, folks. When Paul came over to my house to rehearse, I asked him what he wanted to play, and he said, Beatles! Well, that was that, and before you know it, we started playing gigs at the Fanfare on the Air Force Base, and the Hideaway in Rantoul, and later on at the TNT. We also had a regular once-a-week gig at Les's in Urbana. Remember Les's? For a couple of years, and we played many other gigs in the CU area. Paul loved doing our acoustic duo because he could indulge in as many Beatles songs as he wanted, and on many gigs, that was just about all we played. Playing with music with Paul was more than just music. It was also mic banter and goofiness and making weird faces at each other and lots of underhanded comments, a la Brian Wilkie between songs like, wow, I like what you were trying to do on that song, man, or you're really killing me tonight. And my favorite was, you're playing tonight like you've never played before. Then at least once each night, before we took a break, one of us would utter the Beatles quote, I hope we pass the audition, with a British accent. Another classic mic bit of Paul's was, we're going to take a 5-minute break and we'll see you in 30 minutes. Anyway, one of their favorite songs they played as a duo was Oh Yoko by John Lennon. And he said, I started singing Oh Sabuco instead of Oh Yoko in the chorus, and Paul got a kick out of that. When we played Norwegian Wood by the Beatles, we would come to the part where she said, she told me she worked in the morning and started to laugh. I told her I didn't and crawled off to sleep in, they'd say, the tub, and they laughed about it hundreds of times. Anyway, you may wonder how the whole mook thing started when I moved to New York. It was actually upstate New York, but Paul seemed to think I lived in Little Italy in New York City. So he started calling me a mook, which comes from the mafia movies like The Godfather or Goodfellas, which we both dug. With his husky voice, Paul would talk like a mafia guy and say, "Forget about it." And he sounded just like Tony Soprano. I suppose it helped that he was Italian. Later I started making up variations on the Mook nickname, and sometimes I called him Sabuco or Samook or Pamuco or P-Mook, and he called me K-Mook or Harden. Oh, I never heard that one before. I told him that I preferred Your Majesty, but that's another story. Paul's sense of humor was wicked, just like mine, and even after he got sick, he could laugh at his pain. After his heart attack, we played a gig at T&T, and we were playing a Beatles song, and after we finished the song, Paul said to me, "You played the wrong chord in the bridge, you fucking mook." And so I said, "Don't have a heart attack, you mook." Well, he laughed so hard that he coughed, and then he said, "I think a little pee came out." That was Paul's sense of humor. Every time I thought I had punked him, he would come back with something even funnier. He was hilarious. In recent years, I was happy to see that Paul was still writing songs, and he recorded a CD named Lime Drop with Gloria. They sounded so good together. Also, it was nice to see Paul host a long string of Tuesdays at the TNT. Thank you, Jimmy! And I was always glad when Paul played at Keithmas gigs, because we loved Happy Christmas, War is Over, and Give Peace a Chance by John Lennon, and Christmas Time is Here Again by the Beatles. Paul always loved having Kathy and Donna and Gloria and lots of other girls singing harmonies on those gigs and joining in all the merriment. I'm almost done. One of the biggest testaments to Paul being a gung-ho trooper when it came to gigging was after he got cancer. He still wanted to play whenever he possibly could, and one night we were at Lou and Denny's, and by the way, Eddie Gregg is here from Lou and Denny's. One night we were at Lou and Denny's in Tolono, and he played with his chemo bag on, and he rocked. And let me tell you, it was a wild ride. There are more stories I could tell you about Paul, but the main thing I want to say is this. I love that mook, and I miss him, and I know we all miss him. He and his family and loved ones and friends are in my thoughts and prayers. May he rest in peace. Love, K-Mook. From my brother Keyboard. I know it was long, but he's a long way away. He's in New Orleans, and he had gigs and he couldn't make it up, so he just wanted to be able to be a little part of it. Thanks for listening, y'all.